Hey everyone, hey and welcome back to yet another episode of Battle Rap Resume. This is your host Tom Quee. I just want to start off by saying thank you so much for listening. You know, doing this show is a dream come true in a certain way. They get to interview all these people and that people dig the show and listen to the show and follow it as avidly as they do. So thank you to everyone that does. If you wanted to follow the show closer, please make sure you follow us on Twitter at Battle Rap Resume. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube, on iTunes. Please leave us a review on iTunes. Go on iTunes and check out the reviews as well. Some people have said some interesting shit over there. Most of them in 5 stars, I have to say. So that's been very, very gladly received. But check that out there. Check out our Patreon, patreon.com/BattleRapResume. If you really want to help the show, if you really dig the show, you want to give back to the show, there are 2 main tiers on there. The first tier gets you access to lots of exclusive content, lots of episodes that I only release on Patreon, including a monthly show called Resume Review, where I read out the emails that people send to me, battleresume@gmail.com. Please send me an email, by the way. I'll always respond. Always great to hear from you, wherever you're sending them in from. And the second tier on there gives you access to Battle Rap Resume episodes, weeks, months before they come out. I tend to stockpile these things, so go on there if you want to listen to the new ones coming out and stuff like that. Please also go onto a Redbubble. I think that's about it. That's love to kind of sell my wares at the start there. So yeah, we get into today's episode with an upcoming star, the hot young thing on the scene. Bear.
That's just too kind. Thank you,
Bear. You're
yeah, I'm good. How you doing?
Yeah. I'm good, man. I'm good. And this is Bear Solutions, of course. I want to start off by asking a question that's probably burning on most people's minds. Bear Solutions. It's a great name for a battler. Where did it come from?
I actually just made it up one day because my mate was doing some like sixth form radio thing, wanted me to come in and do a freestyle, which I'd also never freestyled before. So that was quite obviously terrible. But just came up with it on the spot, really. I was wearing a bear on my top. I was like, bear! And I was like, I don't really know where the solutions came from, so I don't know half of it. Sorry.
Right, because I think I heard it before I read it, and I had it as like, how like people say, oh, he's got bear talent or he's got bear grease, and I just thought like you have all the answers, you have bear solutions. I
mean, why not? Yeah, why not? Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. I feel kind of part of the appeal of it is it can mean what you want it to mean. Sure. So I feel kind of, yeah.
Sure. Well, I mean, there are only 2 meanings, but between those, there's a gamut of greyness. And similar to J Red, who wears a lot of red, you seem to be rocking this sort of bear. Is it Ursine? Is that the what about bears? Because Canine's dog. I think Ursine is bear. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, I'm just a big fan of bears, really. Yeah. I mean, polar bears, sun bears, spirit bears, all types of bears. I'm down with them. I do just have a lot of... it's only until quite recently when I watched a few of my battles back for this, and I realised I do actually have a lot of bear clothing.
You do?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I think I am a big fan of bears.
right. I
like chaos.
Yeah. The logical conclusion is probably to bare your chest in your next battle, I suppose. That would be quite literally. Ursine, I should say. I just googled it. Yes, it comes from the Ursus, the Latin word for bear. So there you go. Ursine, canine, porcine. But forget all this crap. We're here to get into Blunt Head and Omar.
Yes!
All this sort of stuff. And I mean, I've got to ask the question. I ask everyone, like, where does it start for you? Like, when was the first time you heard of battle rap? You were aware of it?
This will sound like quite a cop out white nerd answer, but it was actually Margaret versus Blizzard.
Me too.
Yeah, I heard that went viral and watched it, and I thought that was just hilarious. Then after that, I think because I watched it around the start of 2012, so they had the new 2012 tryouts coming through. So I was watching like Enigma, C Major, Ogmios, people like that, and I kind of got into that. Then after a few weeks, I just kind of like moved on and started watching like other random shit on YouTube. But then like I think midway through GCSE revision, I was really bored, and I was just like, I wonder what Nick was up to. So I just typed in his battle. I think I watched him versus Cracker. Then after that, I just started watching battles consistently. Then kind of found all the people I like from there. So like kind of like when I was about 16, I started getting into battles properly.
Whenever I hear, because obviously you are slightly on the younger spectrum of the battling thing, and I'm not like that much older than you, but like I discovered battling in my second year university, and like I wish I discovered it when I was like 16. I just, you know what I mean? Like, I just think it would have been not more enjoyable, but I think with anything in life, you always wish you got to a bit earlier, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it's kind of one of those things as you really get into battling. It's just like, how did I not already know this existed? Because it's like, it's such a weird niche. Yeah. As like when you try and display it to people, but it actually is fantastic if you can get into it.
Yeah.
Like, I get what you mean completely. Yeah, like I feel kind of, I have lapsed a bit recently because I've been a bit busy to kind of watch a lot of battles, but the last few weeks I've been watching battles again. It's fantastic. Like, there's always something great going on.
Yeah.
I think that's the real appeal from it. If you really follow battling, there's always something going on that's in it.
Yeah. It's so active, isn't it? If you go onto Verse Tracker, there's 30 to 40 battles uploaded a day, it seems, and kind of that. And I guess one of the reasons you are busy, I mean, obviously, we know each other outside of this podcast realm. I live in Oxford, you and Jake are Oxford students. You go to the University of Oxford, man. Of course you're going to be fucking busy from time to time, mate.
Yeah, just had a lot of stuff going on lately, really. Like, band's got a new EP out a few days ago. I was presenting that show Shark Tales last term.
That was
a lot. I've had a lot of like other stuff to like throw myself into and promote, but it's like going to be really nice for this, particularly this summer, where I can just do it have much on and I can just start battling like once a month again, like really prepping like I did last year. It's going to be fantastic.
So we get to your first battle against Omar.
Yeah.
This is uploaded in March 2015, so kind of like
in January, I think.
So like 2 years have passed at the time of recording.
Yeah.
Just over 2 years. So quite long ago. You do look very young there, Bear. I must say. I know you're very young anyway, but you look very boyish.
Yeah, 17 in that one.
Yeah.
Not even like that close to my 18th birthday as well. It was like, not gonna lie, a very weird event. Like, roll up to this pub in Croydon and it's just Mickey Worthless and a bunch of just random people in this pub, and it was pretty much just a tryout event. I think 142 versus Tron and me versus Omar were the only two battles that happened.
Right.
Surreal. Definitely surreal.
And
you've been to a battle event at that point as well.
Yeah, and you know, in the modern battling dichotomy, all the description bars are full of the Twitters of the people. Go onto the Patreon of the league, support the league. I love KOTR. It keeps it very simple with try not to look at the tits again is the description.
Yeah, there was a very ample-breasted woman at the front of the crowd.
I mean,
that's why, that was why the description was put in. Many people remarked that was more interesting in the battle itself. I personally would disagree.
Right.
But, you know, if you want that opinion, it's fine.
She looked like something from Littlefinger's brothel or something. Like, it was quite incredible how voluptuous the lady was at the front.
I'm not familiar with that reference, but I'm just going to assume it's a good one.
It's a Game of Thrones reference.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah, you should just said Peter Baelish.
Sorry.
I kind of blitzed it last summer, so I haven't really... I'm just kind of fallen out of it since then.
Yeah, no. I'm blitzing it at the moment, so yeah, it's kind of very much my preference. But we get into the battle. You getting onto King of the Ronalds, was there? You say you've been watching this quite a while since the Mark Grace Blizzard thing. Was your initial instinct to try out for Don't Flop, and you didn't, and it went to KOTR, or what?
I just sent an email to a few leagues, just being like, what you're saying, never battled before, never rapped. If you want me, get back to me. Don't Flop, of course, that must not have been very appealing to them. Sure. So Mickey Worthless got back to me about 2 months after I emailed him, being like, yeah, do you still want to battle? And I was like, yeah, of course. Because this was when they started to trying to like pick up their own talent, I suppose, just kind of like, do you know what I mean? It's like when they started trying to cultivate new talent. This is the start of 2015, so yeah, they got in touch with me, offered me a couple of people. It was quite, obviously, because also this is quite, you know, KOTR was not underground, but KOTR was still quite fledgling at this point.
Yeah.
So it was quite hard to nail someone down, but I think third try got started with Omar for this event. Yeah, it was quite weird because I had about 2 weeks, which is like probably maybe the shortest amount of time I had to prep for a battle. But also, I had pretty much no information on him because I didn't realise he'd done a couple battles in Canada. Right. Which is where he's originally from. And yeah, because of that, I was kind of struggling a bit for angles. And I feel like maybe he's kind of apparent in the later stages of the battle. When he gets a bit more indirect. But yeah, it was weird prepping for this as well. Because it's like, there's no real kind of, you don't really know how you're going to approach it, because you never really because I, for one, hadn't really given much thought about how I was going to approach it. I just kind of did what I felt was right, and that's kind of like, whereas a lot of people will kind of go in with kind of an idea of what they're going to do. So I feel it was a real kind of stab at battling.
Imagine Omar out with a girl on a date, and the look on her face when in Omar's place, his nose said it believes there's sentient life all out in space. Your favourite takeaway? Dominoes.
Omar, I love Omar, man. Like, he doesn't seem to have battled that much.
Dude.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he does well in this. He's like a talent. I had Luigiano on recently, and we mentioned his gruesome body of
Luigiano is the best one-sided battle of all time because
incredible.
It was in a park, and people. You were there as well, yeah. People were coming like to watch this battle in a park and watching people with no idea what battling was, just watching Luigiano get destroyed by Omar. It was incredible, but the camera doesn't pick up how awkward it was.
Yeah.
Like, Omar is great. It's a real shame he had to go back to Canada because he was, like, obviously in the top tier of KOTR.
Yeah, he could be champ right now if he didn't go back. Like,
You know, like, there was talk of giving him the title shot if he didn't have to go back to Canada, yeah.
yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame that didn't work out. But regardless, he battled you here, and you talk about performing CPR on a penguin on the way there.
Yeah, because I had some kind of weird vision of I was going to be some kind of like eco-warrior battle rapper. Dropped that after the first battle because it clearly didn't go down very well. But that was the theming behind that bar. Obviously, it was an error in hindsight, but you know, I took the boat out.
You know, and a common theme in your first is Omar's nose size. You know, it's there.
Angles is the best you can do.
Yeah. I mean, when I was watching this battle, I was thinking of famous noses in battle rap. Natural seems to get a lot of flack for his nose. Jolly J, Tongue Twister. You know,
Loaded Lux.
Loaded Lux. Yeah. Loaded Lux's nostrils.
Soprano looks just like Loaded Lux but with a small nose. It's really disarming when you notice it.
Right. I'll check that out. And I love this. You say you're scared by the Dominator, his nostrils. Indiana Jones could have an adventure in them. They are that colossal.
I mean, to be fair, because it's like my image of Indiana Jones is just him swinging on a rope in like a cave or something. Sure. So that's kind of...
Yeah. The nose hair as the rope and stuff like that, I suppose you could like...
Oh, fuck.
Know. A boulder like rolling out. I don't know.
That is so hard.
His favourite takeaway is Dominoes. You know, it's not a bad first round. Like you say, you were 17, you were taking a stab at this. It still works.
Yeah, it's like it was quite hashed. I feel I did actually take the first round, which is kind of because I feel Omar's first wasn't really saying anything at all. Obviously, you got the other two. I feel kind of. It was an attempt at punchlines. It was an attempt at doing a theme. It was an attempt at all these things. I feel it wasn't like a bad first go.
No, it wasn't. And Omar goes hard on the bear stuff. You know, even just when he's like about to fucking kill you right now, like he's not really done a bar, but he just sort of gets quite angry at you. You know, saying about you tried to add him on Facebook. Ironic, I'm the one who wanted to block you, and you're the one suffering from writer's block. It's not his greatest material that I've seen, but he definitely kind of one-ups you. Maybe not in writing, but on performance, I think he's a bit more measured, isn't he?
Performance, definitely. I feel the issue also derived from, I think he probably had a writer's issue as well, because obviously I had no battles to go off either.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of a one that worked both ways, because he was telling me after his opponent before me was so crazy. He had so much material on him. Like, and I think to go from that to like a sixth former with quite an innocuous lifestyle must be a bit like, you know, maybe a bit more challenging.
Yeah. And, you know, you sort of, you play on, which I think, you know, I had Lazy Ass Jack on the show very recently. Obviously, you know, Jake, great friend of ours, great guy. And you both, you know, play on the idea of being posh. You talk about step in my ends, I'll set the swans on you. That's also because also in Cambridge we had a swan called Mr. Asbo who would like attack rowing boats, and he became like a pariah in the area to the point where like the police had to move the swan so it wouldn't like get killed or anything. Like it's a very kind of niche reference, but like because the swan got onto ITV as well. Oh right.
So yeah, it's like Cambridge does have, I wouldn't say a swan crisis, but we've got a lot of swans around here. That was kind of like, obviously didn't really expect everyone to get that or react to it, but that was actually what I thought behind the bar. And everyone thinks swans are posh anyway, so, you know, works on two levels, I guess.
And, you know, the beauty of battling is, at its core, it is competitive writing, and any affectations of class or culture or history go on top of that ideal, you know, and that's kind of where we're going from. So talk to me briefly, you know, about the idea of bringing the poshness into battling, which I think you do very, very well. It's quite a unique sort of thing to have, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, well, it's kind of like, if I went into the venue that day and did like 3 rounds gun bars, like Lil Maisie style, just act like I'm some massive gangster, no one would believe me.
No.
So it's like, there's no way. It's like I don't want to do that style anyway. But like, if I wanted to do that style, no one's going to believe me if I did. So I might as well just play to my strengths on it. And it's like, I'm not going to go in being some like snooty posh guy being like, yeah, I'm better than you. It's just like, I'll just go in and be me.
Yeah.
But I feel kind of like you can do it in a way that kind of makes you seem, I don't know, like, for want of a better word, classy. For example, the way kind of people like Shuffle T-Mall and Harry Baker do it, they do it in quite like, they try and do it in a way it's like, oh, we're just more sensible perhaps, we're like kind of just more civilized, like you're just being kind of like weird maybe. It's like you try and, if you are posh, you can just say, oh yeah, I'm normal, and kind of try and make your opponents look weird. So that's how I try and play up on it. It's just like, if I try, because it's like, I don't think I'm, like, obviously I sound really posh, but I don't think I am like that posh. Like,
right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is a presentation. You're not like a fucking 18th century fop or something.
Yeah,
like, you know, you aren't like Prince Regent or something. But it's just in the context of what we're dealing with.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, in King of the Ronalds and such like that. It's interesting, Bear. You know, I watch a hell of a lot of battle rap, and you see these same concepts come up, and sometimes a bar can pop that someone says, and someone else says it, and it doesn't go down. And I'm not saying there was any biting here going on, but I'm sure you've seen Soul versus Real Deal. Recent battle. I think we watched it together actually. Great battle. And you know, he has the tanned cuz Sin is on an angle. You know, and Omar has pretty much the same bar here with the tan cosine bar.
I feel it. The issue with it is because, like, if you're gonna do maths bars, what do you know? You either know stuff about shapes, or you know, like, basic trigonometry. So I feel both of those are quite overused, because like Riser's used it as well against me. I can't like, yeah, not the first person to do it, but yeah, I think when Omar did it, it was still a bit fresh, but like it's quite a bit of an overused concept now. The whole sine, cos, tan thing.
Yeah, it is, and the whole mean, average.
Oh yeah,
you know, that's really played out. You're so white. This is Omar in a second. It looks like Michael Cera if he tried mascara.
Yeah, I feel it works better in his accent. The multi.
It does. Not in this garbled Brummy. Yeah.
I don't know. Did I look like Michael Cera when I was 17? I'll Google him.
Yeah, you did. I mean, you didn't quite. I don't know. I could see what
I mean, maybe a bit with the hair.
Yeah, generic sheepish white guy, I think is what he's going for more than anything.
It's one of those, like, I'm just going to multi at you and say something kind of works. Yeah.
Well, it's funny you say just going to multi at you, because a common theme that I always touch on in the show is when people start to write in their first early battles, you see them do Yunnan monstrosity multis that mean nothing, but they just like mega multis, they're big multis, and you're like lying hard. Mine's brighter than Orion's star. You said like, atrocities on par with Myanmar. I'm like, shit.
I mean that is actually that is quite scary.
Yeah.
I mean, if I actually did that, that would have been horrifying.
You talk about ripping out his dying heart and using it to bring forth the apocalypse.
Yeah, it's evocative imagery.
It is.
I'm not going to dispute that. I mean, I just didn't do it again because it didn't really go down. It's like there is definitely, when you watch Unanimous Battle, you're just like, oh, what he does is so easy, just shouting and getting aggressive. But actually, it isn't, because he is incredibly aggressive and has an impeccable vocabulary, just full of these like amazing multi.
He does, yeah.
Like, dragon scale weapons and like volcanic eruptions and alien invasions. It's just like everyone wants to try and be Yunnan because they think it's easy, but it's obvious that why there aren't people like him. Like,
and
yeah, I am guilty of it though. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, everyone is. I mean, that's the thing. But it's just kind of interesting to dwell upon there. And yeah, I do quite like Omar's third. Actually, I think his third
Omar's
really
third
good.
Was good. Yeah.
Like
I knew I'd lost when he sat that third.
Yeah, yeah. And it's just kind of like, you know, pointing out your style. If you're part of solutions, you're part of the problem, sort of thing. You know, it's quite nice. Change to the initials because all you do is spit BS. You know, it's just quite cute.
I mean, it was one of the more obvious name flips, but I mean, like, you might as well, if it's the first time you're going to battle someone, might as well use all the name flip stuff so no one else can. Like, I respect that.
Yeah.
Like,
And
he kind of got first dibs on that, so I don't blame him.
Fair to say, we have the KOTR, the audience decision at the end. I myself have been on the end of a stinging rebuke when I battled Murta, which is a hood classic. Everyone should check out Soliloquy versus Murta. But in this case, you have a lot of friends there that Mickey.
Not a lot. Okay, Mickey is exaggerating because the turnout at the event was quite low.
Yeah.
Proportionally, yes, I had quite a few people there, but like in the grand scheme of things, I didn't have like tons of people.
Okay.
Like,
okay. So how many?
5.
5. Okay, five's it's a little entourage, little crew, I suppose, but not too bad. And then in the end, I think Omar takes the win, but still for yourself, like a great experience, I imagine.
Yeah, no, it was pretty good, and also it's like I knew it was like at least he gave a good. It's like I didn't really mind losing that kind of battle because it's kind of thing where it's like. Quite often, if I ever do lose, I'm annoyed for about 10 minutes, and I'll just be like, yeah. Fair enough. Like Omar, because Omar's a great dude as well, really sweet guy. Like it was a good performance as well, because like it's like he did go on to become, at least in 2016, like one of the best people in KOTR. So it's like it's interesting, really. Just like gave it a go, try my best. Like it wasn't so awful. I didn't warrant never doing it again.
Yeah,
we're all good.
Yeah, no, of course. And we get into your second battle here. This is with a great friend of the show, Sir Blunt Ted.
He couldn't change his style if he wanted, though. He's just got one direction. Whole style like pop music. Shit got no dimension, but the opinion is against him. He's losing his momentum. Bitch like Kate Hopkins, he just chats that shit for attention. Your style's so lazy. I can't believe you're actually content with using bigotry and gimmicks instead of actual content. After this battle, I'm going to see my girl. Get some head. You're gonna roll out the door? Yeah, real shit.
This was Blunthead's KOTR debut as well.
That's crazy, man. I mean, he's off KOTR now, isn't he?
I kind of after about November time, just because I just kind of disconnected from all the battle forums for a bit.
Sure.
So I think I missed what was going on there. But yeah, apparently Blunthead has now left KOTR. Which, a shame, given how. Yeah, he is the lifeblood of that league.
It's like when Ginger Spice left the Spice Girls. It's like an integral member.
It's just not going to be the same.
No.
Yeah, the Blunthead battle was interesting because it was about 6 months after the Omar one, and I think it was more Mickey and Hulk were just getting another battle to be polite rather than actually kind of pushing me. And yeah, they were definitely quite surprised when I was good and won. Interesting battle.
And was this the same battle that Lazy faced at Odds? Was this same event? No, later event.
About 6 months before that. Yeah,
right.
This was the summer before I had started uni. It was the day Scribs battled EMC. I think that was the main event.
Okay.
I feel it was just a bit of a breakthrough on my part because I just kind of worked out what went wrong with the Omar battle quite quickly. It was kind of better structure, better punchlines, better angles. So I watched his battles. Like I feel, all round a better performance, really.
Yeah, no, definitely a very strong marquee sort of performance here. You open up with quite an accurate sort of depiction of Blunthead. Looks like Shock's the Rebel on ketamine.
Oh yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Kind of does.
I forgot I said that. Yeah, he does. Yeah. No, I forgot I said that. Yeah.
No, it's
he just looks like a bit more of a rundown Shock's the Rebel.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. And you're gonna zip his boys up in bags, sleepover.
I mean, yeah, that was. I still maintain that wasn't a bad punch.
No.
I feel it was kind of the delivery of it may have been a bit fluffed. Like it was a weird, quite a small crowd as well. It was like, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that bar. Like,
yeah. No, I think your first is very strong, but the crowd are just kind of like silent dead.
Yeah, it's like you kind of have to. I feel there's a bit of a kind of feeling in battling where if you don't kind of have a particular level of kind of projection or quality, you are just going to get stonewalled by people. And it is quite hard for some newcomers to overcome because, like, if you're not providing something kind of really fresh and original, it's quite hard to get people to react because, the standards are quite high. I'm not kind of complaining about that, but it's kind of when you get to these, like, very early battles, it can be a bit kind of disarming, I guess, when you are spitting punchlines, entertaining content, but it's just not done in the right way.
Yeah, that's very true, and I love the whole Seth MacFarlane can't make Ted look good on film. Hard. Storms to Ted. You're going to need more than a lightning buddy.
Oh yeah. That was.
Talk that animatronic. Well, it's not even animatronic, isn't it? With CGI, but yeah, talk that shit. I should say. 33 and Balding. You turn to the camera. Who's losing?
Yeah. I mean,
I kind of want a rematch. Like, I know you won, but it's like, I think it'd be great.
I feel kind of the one shame about me battling Blunt Ted so early was if that battle just happened a year later, it would just be so much weirder and more entertaining because of that. Because like this was when we were both quite embryonic in our styles. Obviously, Blunt Ted, like a few months down the line, came to become just kind of the reckoner in chief of KOTR. Like, just look 6 months later to when Jake and his first battle, I battled from, like, he battled JJC4 and nearly like got into a fight with him the whole battle. One of the best KOTR episodes ever.
Oh my god, amazing.
Like, and it's kind of, if you go back to me versus Blunt Ted and you watch that, you wouldn't kind of expect where both our careers have diverged, and that's what I kind of find quite funny. It's so kind of just like it's so kind of just unassuming.
Yeah.
You think it's just some kind of like typical tryout on KOTR, but then it goes on to be like this chaos that has enveloped both our lives. Yeah, completely.
To quote C Major, humble beginnings, most certainly. And you look like this is Blunt in his first. You look like a cracked out George Michael before he realised he was queer.
Let me just Google George Michael quickly.
Do you know what anyone looks like, Bear? Like George Michael's. You know what any Michael looks like, I should say.
Okay, young George Michael. I can. Yeah. I get. It's just the flamboyant fringe, like.
Yeah, certainly. Apparently, Blunt Ted saw your mom on Pornhub trying to fuck herself with Bowski's head.
I mean,
quite an image.
Yeah, it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, is that bar really making me look worse than you?
No, I just sort of love the ludicrousness of the visage that it presents there. And I love also in your second that you just kind of predict all the gay stuff he's going to spit, and in his second he keeps spitting gay stuff and kind of is like, oh fuck.
Yeah, well, it's because I was meant to battle Evil a few months before this, and it's like, and it's early Evil is pretty much just entirely multisyllabics and gay jokes. And I kind of set up most of that round ready for him before it was cancelled, because they had to cancel the whole event. So when I watched Blunt Ted's battles, I was like, yeah, it's like the same thing. It's like with the preempting stuff, I try and do it quite a lot, I feel. It's like, because if you can actually just pinpoint a few things, because I find a good way to break someone down is if you just pinpoint a few things about their style and really hammer in on them, and if they then go on to do them, it makes them look quite predictable and like formulaic, as opposed to kind of like, it's more kind of organic.
Yeah.
And against Blunt Ted, it really worked, because it was just like, you're just going to spit gay jokes, and spitting gay jokes is gay because you're sitting there writing about me having gay sex. Like, why are you doing that? If you hate gay sex so much, why are you writing about me having gay sex? It's just like, and then for him to just go on and do another 2 rounds of it, just kind of prove my point, really.
Yeah, completely. And then in your third, you're just sort of going on about his, please put your lyrical gats away. Imploring him to do this. It really is a huge step up. Not that the Omar battle was necessarily bad, but it is quite a big stride.
It was definitely stylistically an improvement, because I kind of just worked out what I wanted to do, which was just, I think, the main kind of difference with it. Because the first one, I had no idea what I was doing. Second one, it's like, I'm going to come in, I'm going to punch, I'm going to joke on him a bit, I'm going to bar him a bit, I'm going to see what works. Like, and I think also because I had a couple more weeks to prepare as well, definitely helped. It was I think also just 6 months is a while as well, because, I'd kind of cooled off from the Omar one and kind of just, came back to it with a new mindset. And obviously, I was watching more battles in this time as well, because I didn't live too much on in kind of the time between it, so I had a much better, because when you watch more, like, if you still haven't been into battling for too long and you watch more, you will just get a better understanding of it.
Yeah, completely. And you take the win there again, on a bit of a stride now. I haven't actually seen this battle, but on your verse tracker, in amongst the King of Rods and the Dope Flop, there is a clash against Mighty. which is in
Banbury,
Banbury, which is as you say, kind of like the nearest train station to Oxford, the nearest kind of metropolis in a certain sense. What the hell was this about?
Okay, so after this, after the Blunted battle, I was chatting with Mickey outside the good ship, and he said, I can get you another battle before you go off to uni. So on the day 2 of Specialists in Failure, where the whole event was cancelled because no one showed up, I was meant to battle Mighty. So we agreed to move it onto the street instead. The street event, which Mighty had organised, had 6 battles, all of which were cancelled except ours. Jake and I show up to, what was it? I think we were outside, I want to say a Boots in Banbury, and there was about 60, 70 odd preteens gathered around there. And it was generally one of the most awkward experiences of my life. I don't think it was necessarily... Actually, no, it was quite a bad performance from me. I just had kind of 3 rounds that I spat to pretty much... I feel the first... Also, because we were outside a shopping centre, a security guard moved us after the first round next to the street. So because of that, no one could really hear us for the last 2 rounds, but you can hear it on the camera. So it was typically kind of getting more and more kind of dead as you went through. Mighty choked his second. I tried to do some whole kind of like, deep analogy shit, obviously lost on everyone in my third. I mean, if you want to watch something bizarre, go for this. But yeah, it was weird. Like, the only kind of noticeable kind of thing I took away from it is when Mighty chokes, he does this really weird thing where he kind of like pumps his arm out one at a time, like it's kind of like he's like spinning them, and when he can't remember the bars. And I made fun of him for doing that, and then he did it, which was predicting again. It was like an odd one though. I think my first round was pretty decent actually as well. Because I have the bars on my phone for every battle from Problematic onwards. I don't actually have the Mighty bars, so I can't spit any now or like analyze it, I'm afraid. But yeah, weird battle. Yeah,
currently at 320 views. So
320.
Which is kind of like it's kind of a number you stall at when you upload a video and there's there's too many people watching. But unfortunately, in that case, it's not the thing. But yeah, Mighty versus Bear Solutions. Next up, we have haven't seen this one. What do you remember? What do you recall of yourself versus Problematic?
Yeah, Problematic battle number 4. This was at the KOGR Christmas party. It was kind of. This was a much more kind of rapid fire, kind of bit more jokey as well, because like Problematic had established a bit of a name for himself in KOTR at this point, like with his like, I'm a dildo salesman, like look at me and my chin strap beard. So I was kind of like, and like some of the shit he said, some like weird shit against 142, like he said his mind was more complex than 10,000 nanobytes, so it was I had a lot more material to work from, so I feel it was my best performance at that point. And Problematic also choked 3 rounds, and my third round was like kind of the best round I'd spat at that point. It was just like really kind of just tearing the house down a bit, because Problematic got an ASBO which banned him from his train station for a bit when he was younger. So I just did a whole round of train jokes. And one bar I did spat, which is kind of, everyone went wild for, was every aspect of your life is problematic. Why even take a battle? You're only a roadman because you have no other way to travel. Right, nice. Yeah, and it was kind of that kind of, I feel that kind of moment was just like, people like me, this is great. Right. Yeah, it was like, it's a bit of an unremarkable battle, I'd say, kind of looking back now, but it was like, in a sense of progression, it was nice. I kind of had like a battle where I get a good amount of reaction, opponent shows up, kind of good atmosphere, whole kind of thing. And next battles with Lazy Ass Jack obviously had it was actually 3 weeks before that. They lost the footage. Bard and Bombshell 2-on-2 with Lazy Ass Jack.
Oh, what a shame. I mean, I think Lazy mentioned you other 2-on-2. I mean, how did the footage get lost?
I'm not entirely sure. I think one of Jake's friends filmed the rounds, and I think it might be unlisted, but it is on there. 3 rounds from us, and the first of Bard and Bombshells is on the YouTube channel. But it was a body. Bard and Bombshell were quite roundly destroyed. And after that, because that kind of really got everyone kind of hyped, because all of the footage was lost. It made everyone quite excited for me and Jake, because to go from writing a battle together, which got a very good reaction on the day, to then go and battle each other 3 weeks later was quite like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It kind of like, obviously a lot of people like kind of like the stories behind battling, a lot kind of like, you know, they like the kind of the story behind wrestling, for example.
Yeah.
So kind of people who are following Character Report were quite excited for it, because you're kind of, you know, getting, there's like two mates battling, but you know, they've battled together. It was, yeah. Entering the Lazy Ass Jack battle was interesting as well, because it's like, obviously you have so much more. You can say anything pretty much. It's the first time you have this much to say about someone. It's kind of like you got to really pick and choose what you're going to say.
And I mean, we have in battle rap, you know, partnerships, Sue Surf and Tay-Rock,
oh yeah,
Shovelty and Marlowe, Sketch and Censor, you know, but you and Lazy, how did you guys meet?
Cute little story. The way battle rap brings everyone together.
Always.
On the first day of Freshers, we were all pre-drinking in some corridor in our accommodation, and I was checking the 7th birthday announcements on my phone. Jake looks over my shoulder. It's like, oh, do you like battle rap? I'm like, yeah, I love battle rap. And it's like, oh, so cool. Started bonding over battle rap. Everyone thought we were quite weird, but I don't really care.
No.
Yeah, that's how we met. We just bonded that night over shared love of battling, because we've been watching it for ages. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, Lazy told the story as well, but it's nice to hear the other side of it. That is quite a nice kind of initial meeting there.
Because your schemes are drawn out, but it's not a masterpiece, more like an artistry. Years hold half-heartedly, putting pasta on paper, asking mummy to pass the peas. And then he gets all angry and starts to scream, acting like he's finding it hard to breathe, like the blood pumping through his arteries, but you're only seeing red when you need a plaster, G. Outside of battles, we both know you're calm and weak. Only something you threatened to start harming peeps is when you were drunk, a guy accidentally barged your knee, and he was this tall apologising to you, saying, pardon me.
Okay, so we get into yourself versus Lazy Ass Jack. This is the, you know, the Battle of Oxford, as it's deemed, sort of thing. You know, pretty unfortunate. I don't know if unfortunate is the right word, but, you know, Mickey and Hulk go pretty all out in the grotesque in their intro.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, they made a lot of rape jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't really feeling that, personally. Well, not at all, because, like, I don't feel that shit's, like, funny. It's just, like, I don't really get why they felt so insistent on putting that in my battle, because we asked them to take it out as well, but because Mickey had said so much outrageous shit that day, they actually edited something outrageous out of a different battle, because they kind of got confused about which thing they said. Yeah,
right.
It's a shame, but like, yeah, if you just get through that, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I guess, but I mean, I was saying this to Jake as well, sort of, you know, two Oxford students going against each other. This has viral written all over it, and it's a shame that this intro's there.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing where it's like, if it ever does kind of just get like seized upon in the future, you're going to see the rape jokes and just feel like, am I really going to watch the rest of this or share this? I feel it is like a bit of an issue, but
it is. I mean, look, whatever. That's KOTR, isn't it?
Yeah, but then like, who am I to tell them how to like run the league? Like,
yeah. Exactly. And you know, it's interesting as well that you're introduced as, you know, someone who held them down through the Dark Ages, which is quite a nice kind of you know, affectation there.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what they meant. I think kind of like, by virtue of finding my own way to the league and not leaving, I thought that was probably what they meant. Yeah, because I think I've been with them for about a year at that point as well. Yeah, I think also they kind of appreciated that I'd brought Lazy Ass Jack to them as well, because like his tryout against odds was incredibly well received. Like,
yeah, great tryout. Yeah, great tryout. You talk about Relapse in your first here. Relapse saying he's not racist, kind of what a racist would say.
Yeah, it's because before that we had Relapse versus Blunt Ted, and Blunt Ted basically brought up some status to Relapse and said where he kept saying the N-word, and then Relapse was just like, I'm not racist, and kind of like Mickey couldn't judge the battle because Relapse kept trying to tell everyone how he wasn't racist, so that was just like referencing that from like a couple minutes before.
Wait, it works, man, and like,
yeah,
this is where we see the introduction of kind of your flip game.
Yeah, like it wasn't that I couldn't flip before, it's just that I couldn't think of something I felt was worth saying. It's like I nearly flipped in all my previous battles, but it's just like, first of all, you're not particularly against everyone after Omar. It's like, you're not really saying anything of substance, so how can I really flip it if you're not saying anything to me? And then on the other hand, it's like, even if I do say something, it could just backfire, it could just sound really silly. So against Lazy Ass Jack, when I knew he was going to actually say something like meaningful, it was like, okay, I can actually start to freestyle off it now.
Right. You talk about you two meeting Juan in the cellar?
Oh yeah, it was jokes. Like, went out one night, Juan in cellar is this club in Oxford. Fantastic. Told him, we're like, I love your battles. He's like, oh, okay, cool. It's like, yeah, we love your Sharon battle. He's like, oh my god, you got the PPV? And we're like, yeah, we did. Jake doesn't actually remember meeting Juan, I don't think. Right. He was quite gone. Yeah, seemed. I mean, I think Juan is quite shy actually in person, so I do feel like a bit bad in hindsight, just like running up to him. But yeah, sweet bloke.
Yeah. And I said this to Jake as well, Bear. You know, with yourself and Jake and Juan and Battle Rap Resume, Oxford is the popping battle rap city right now. It's
growing. Turner as well. Let's not forget.
Oh shit, Turner. Yeah,
Turner making his appearance on Shark Tales.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Oh my god, yeah, shout out Turner. Some good stuff from you in the first though. Cut up by your friend in public like Julius Caesar?
Nice. Yeah, I feel kind of that's quite yeah, it's like I feel it could maybe I could have worked it in hindsight to be a bit more of a direct punch, but it's the whole kind of like friends battling, make a punch kind of out of it sort of thing. I think it went down quite well.
Yeah, no, it did. And, you know, was it difficult in a certain extent going in on Jake? I know you hadn't been friends for that long, but was that a hard thing, or?
I don't feel I went in on his personality and kind of, like, mannerisms as much as he did on me. And I feel that's a fair comment to make. Like, I wasn't really kind of, like, it was just kind of tall stuff, which he gets all the time. Like, if he can't handle me calling him tall, then he shouldn't be battling, and he knows that. Like, and then I thought after that, I kind of like analysed his style more and kind of like that sort of stuff. I wasn't really talking about kind of him as a person. I was talking about him as a battler, so I didn't really find it an issue. Like, I only think I brought up like one anecdote about him, so I don't think it was too bad.
Yeah, and it's quite sweet that he gives you water in like between the break.
Yeah. Well, it's because we only had time to get one glass of water before the battle started, so we decided to share it, which was, you know, a sweet gesture.
Yeah, very, very, very sweet. And you know, we get in the second you're employing the Big T gun sounds.
Oh, where was it? Let me just. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, yeah, because it was part of the multi scheme.
Yeah.
Like, because it's obviously. Big T does the whole blacker, boo, blacker, right. And quite a lot of the time he uses a 3-syllable sound to like do the gun. So yeah, because I think I used the same multi, I think 40 something times in this round.
Right.
Yeah, it was a 3-syllable multi, so it's like harming me, harmony, karma, clean, martyr me, that kind of stuff. Like. Because it was a whole kind of round of that. It was like kill you with 3 sounds like this. It was quite like, I feel it's quite a contrived punch, but it was like quite a nice ending for it as well, because it's quite like animated. Like,
and you know, I spoke with this about Jake before. Jake against Blunt Ted has a round against the beauty and his admiration of multis. Like, you know, talk to me about multis. Like, you love using them clearly. What's your relationship with them in terms of writing?
Well, to be honest, I was fucking awful at doing multis about up until maybe kind of bombshell kind of battle time. I was just awful at them. I couldn't get them to do it. So when I could do them, I was like, well, time to start showing off that I can actually do multis. Quite a lot of the time, I feel like I kind of just do it to show off more than anything else. Like, they are only kind of, because you have to do multis. Like, if you want to be a good battler, you just have to do multis. So I feel I might as well just do them well, and I might as well do them in a way to try and impress people who are impressed by multis. Like, it's just kind of, I'm not going to be lazy about it and just, like, you know, half-ass my multis. Like, I did a whole round in it because I thought that would impress, because I thought it would be kind of an impressive thing, like, artistically to do. Like, I feel I did lose that. I feel I did lose that round because of that, though, because I was doing the same multi-scheme that does really narrow down the punches you can do. Like, to do like 4 or 8 multis and then punch every 4, that's challenging, but you can do it. But then to do like, I think I was doing maybe like 10 punches all in the same multi-scheme, they were starting to get quite generic as I went through. Like, they started off quite strong, But I think as it went on, it's like, because you have to fit certain words in, I feel the punches just got worse. So that was the issue. And I think particularly against Jace, when I tried to do that as well, that's where I fell down again. Like against LSD, I think just out of luck, the punches landed more and I was punching more. But it's like, when you do this, you have to make sure it will pop every time. Because if you're not doing the same multi scheme, you're fine. And I thought that was the issue here. Like, it's like with multis, like I'm using them less now in terms of like padding out schemes. I'm trying to make them shorter and more direct. It's what I tried to do against Conquer B. What I'm going to try and do next month. Like, yeah.
And Lazy reveals that your nickname at school was Hipster Monk.
It wasn't a nickname. It was a cruel, vicious taunt.
Right.
Closest friends threw at me when I briefly decided it was cool to do the half bowl cut, where you like pretty much get like a 1 below like what would otherwise be the bowl cut, that you keep the rest of the fringe. If that's a good description of it. So you pretty much are just like a monk, but with a shaved underneath the bowl bit, which is why the name.
I mean, yeah, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. And nice flip in the third, because he kind of goes in on the Hipster Monk stuff. You saying his hair looks like candy floss that's badly off.
Yeah, Jake's hair, of course, being an ever-changing myriad. At this point, it was kind of a curly half afro, I remember. So yeah, it kind of like, I don't know what candy floss looks like when it goes off, but it could quite easily go his colour. Yeah.
I think it's quite easy to envision there. And I mean a great battle from both of you, really. And at the end of it, Lazy takes the win, but Mickey felt that you won.
Yeah. I feel online most people thought I won as well. I feel that Jake did win on the day just because he was a lot more personal with it. And I feel in a KOTR crowd that was what matters, because when you kind of bill it as two mates battling, you kind of want to see people going at each other. So I feel that is how he took it. But I feel when you watch it back, you kind of realise that I was doing more kind of complicated writing than punchlines, which was the issue here. Like, yeah. It was like, I feel this was both kind of a sort of kind of a step up moment for both of us, really. Like I feel this was, except for the lost 2-on-2, a real step above what we'd done up until this point.
Yeah, completely.
And this kind of like, because off the back of that is Mickey and Hulk like, okay, we're onto something here. Like, this is the battle that Danny Jack saw before he decided to get me on training days. Like, it was kind of the one that really kind of like, it was like, okay, up until this point, it was kind of quite just like, I don't know, quite inconsequential, whereas this actually kind of meant something, I feel.
And after this, you battled Riser, is that correct?
I think I battled J. Cruz the week before.
Okay.
It was, after this, I was the whole fucking Cloudy Soprano bullshit, didn't end up battling him. Right. Don't know, too weird, man. This was like, Lazy Jack was February. I think in July, I've been invited to training days, so I battled J. Cruz, and I think I battled Riser the week after that on King of the Rolls. Which one do you want to talk about first?
No, I just want to touch on the Riser thing, because in kind of like in verse tracker time, which is kind of like the Battle Rap's time zone. This is the one uploaded first. Like, Riser,
really turnaround on that.
Pretty accomplished battler in his own right.
Yeah, like he's quite interesting because he's like, I think Scottish Holohan has been said quite a lot,
right.
Which I think is a fair comparison, because he's like, he hasn't watched very many battles before he started battling, but like he's quite, obviously he's a very big guy, so kind of like shouting and anger thing does work for him, and also he's quite versatile as well, because like he's told me he does what he calls English battle rap and what's called Scottish battle rap. English battle rap, you do punchlines and schemes. In Scottish battle rap, you do like mum jokes and multis. So you can do both, basically. Like, yeah, he's doing well now, isn't he? I think people are kind of starting to take notice of him.
Yeah, he had a good battle with Visceral.
I haven't seen the battle. I saw the roundabout short people. That was impressive, though. Like, I think he's starting to work out how to really break people down more as well.
And we get to your battle with J. Cruz. I was actually there. I remember it was like one of the hottest days of experience in London. It was great beautiful weather. Yeah, it was glorious. How did this come about? You being asked to be on training days?
The day that Jade battle, Blunted, Dan Jack and Frankie Fraser were there, just kind of watching battles, and they kind of like, yeah, like, we've seen your battles, we want you on training days. And I'm not entirely sure why they gave me J. Cruz, but I thought it was a great idea because it's J. Cruz, and like at this point he had like 3 battles on like 20k views each. I thought like that's kind of a win-win for me. And like it was also J. Cruz's massive return as well after the Ricky C performance. So yeah, it's quite surreal because like I feel from this point onwards I've just battled an incredibly weird mix of people.
Yeah.
Started with J. Cruz, like it's kind of like from J. Cruz to now I couldn't really predict who I got because I battled quite a lot of like more novelty people, and like by novelty I mean people who are kind of quite like not taken seriously but not like a bit more kind of like unorthodox.
You can say that Jace is a joke. It's fine.
Yeah, good. Jace and J. Cruz are jokes. Yeah, I battle both of them.
Yeah. And Zayn, I guess, to a certain extent. I mean,
yeah, but I feel Zayn. With Zayn, he's more kind of the power of what he's saying, kind of like. I feel Zayn's a bit less of a joke because he is like a vet, and he actually does put. You can argue he's put in like distinguished performances.
Oh yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, he beat you, so I mean, there's that.
Oh, thank you.
Your writing isn't clever, that's why I can't rate you hard. You just force 2 random ideas together to make a bar. I'll give you all an example quickly and play the part. Your battle career is like the sun and the day, because you never face the star. Fuck your image, you just pick 2 points and connect them quick. Drawing with straight lines, you ain't got an edge for this. Your face is almost as stretched out as your penmanship, because you're always reaching for your own angles like a selfie stick. Pick.
Chill Yourself Home Cryogenics, were you kind of aiming to ape the sort of J. Cruz style in this mode?
Yeah, no, I was kind of parodying his like catchphrase, which is like, J. Cruz, that's so special, G, so you better brace yourselves like home dentistry. So I was like, if I just do that back at him straight away, it's just like, yeah, anyone can do the bullshit comparison shit that you do, which is just like, this is one thing, like literally this other thing where I changed the words. Like, oh, fuck's sake.
Put K in a box like Kellogg's, you're a special one.
Yeah, it's like put K in a box like Kellogg's. It's like, first of all, they're not actually putting letter K's in the fucking box. They are putting special K in the box, which is like cereal and fruit. You can think I'm putting K on a box, but no, then that doesn't work because that's not how you set up a put you in a box punchline. So I feel kind of, just because of how the way it was constructed, I feel it was worth just putting out, oh, you're trying, you.
Yeah. We get a styles more annoying than insult pop culture reference.
Yeah, it's like it was around this time where I started doing kind of like more kind of like counter battle rap culture bars as well, where it's just like, in lieu of an actual punchline, I'll just say something that mocks how you set up a battle rap punchline. So in this one, I did one against Riser, for example, where instead of spitting any bars, I actually just spat the multis I would have used if I wrote bars for that bit. And I just spat a bunch of multis, and I spat and totally irrelevant punchlines, just kind of demonstrate how he operates, sort of thing. And in this one, it's just like da 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 da, like Star Trek, da 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 da. That's from Game of Thrones. If you just like, it's like, I'm not, obviously there's a good way to do it and there's a bad way to do it, and I was making fun of the bad way to do it just to kind of cap off the round, because it's like when you're against someone like J. Cruz, you can really say anything and people will just kind of take it and think, oh yeah, that's true. So like with this one, if you just explain why it isn't funny and why it's bad, it will just take the momentum away from him when it goes back to him.
And I mean, a lot of people clown on J. Cruz, and I understand that, but he does have some lines in here that I quite respect in terms of just their inventiveness. He's a hospital porter, he reveals in his second. This is not the first time he's had his patients pushed.
That was actually quite a good bar, to be fair. I'm not gonna...
I mean, it's a patience bar, but, you know, you talk about calling people gay, give a fuck if you think e-cig, you just a fake fag. I mean, it's kind of okay, like, you know what I mean. But he has
such a reach. It's just like, it's like, it would be better if he didn't exaggerate the reach as well. It's because of the way he kind of constructs his reaches. He really exaggerates when he's reaching, but that makes it worse. If you're reaching, you want to make it sound like you're saying it correctly. Like if you're gonna change a word to make it sound different, you don't change it more because everyone's just like, what are you doing? Like.
And he kind of has a bad choke, doesn't he, in the second? Like, what are you thinking when your opponent is suffering a choke?
I was stood there just like, why the fuck aren't you calling time? Like, and I was just like, oh yeah, this is in KOTR. Like, because like I've had quite a few people choke against me, and it's when they do, it's either good, you've choked, now it's my turn again, or it's either just like, oh, why can't someone call time or just remember your bars? Because it just kind of just makes it feel a bit dead if no one calls time on it. Like. I was kind of just stood there, just like, oh, I wish this was on KOTR right now. Just at least then it wouldn't be so uncomfortable for everyone.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. And some good stuff in your second. Talking of Jay's kind of, his phobia is not the best word, but he's kind of, he doesn't kind of vibe with weed that well. One touch of the weed and he's seeing red and white tees like a Stoke fan.
Yeah. I feel that may have been a bit of a reach, but it's
slightly, but pretty good. I like that. Yeah.
I mean, red and white tees. Stoke playing red and white, so he
does this. Yeah. No. It felt very much like everyone was fucking with you on the day, don't you think? Like people were on your
I feel kind of it was good in two ways because like a lot of the kind of KOTR lot were about, and obviously they were gonna kind of support me a bit because it's kind of quite nice having kind of battle the same events more for about like a year for them to kind of like make the step up. Also like it was like with J Cruz, it is like it was there's a bad performance and there's a J Cruz performance and there's a bad J Cruz performance. And like I think, I'm not sure who said it, someone said that it may have actually come across as so bad on his end because he wasn't in a room where everyone's going to hype up what he says. He was in a park where his projection does matter a lot more. And where kind of, because he just had been out of the game for so long, kind of the novelty was wearing off a bit, I feel.
Yeah, I get that. And
it's back to what I said before, like, it's the kind of battler where I've had a few now, where if you just say something about him, like, for example, it's like, you're insecure when you have to prove you can beat Ricky C. Just because I said that against J Cruz, you're like, oh yeah, that's funny because it's J Cruz.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
And, with this battle, we've seen, another 3 uploads which we're going to get onto shortly, and you've been pretty much exclusively on Don't Flop. Are we going to see a KOTR return for Bear, or...?
The issue is, I have actually had several battles booked for KOTR, but I've been no-showed multiple times. So, Riser did happen. The Max Sherry problematic 2-on-2, Max Sherry missed his coach, that didn't happen. Lex no-showed, Boski lost the footage.
Oh yeah, you did battle Bowski.
I would have had 3 more battles on KOTR at this point if it wasn't for people's genuine incompetence. And that's not a slant on KOTR, that's a slant on the battlers who no-showed. I've been trying to get a battle there, but it's difficult. I probably will battle there again in the summer, but not after. I've got a training days battle in a month, and that's my last one before exams. And I'll try and take a few more in the summer. I probably won't battle as much as I did last summer, just because doing like 5 battles in 4 or 5 months does really burn you out a bit. But I will definitely try and make another appearance there. Yeah.
We saw after this obviously a great performance from you, great emergence onto the then nascent Training Days event against LS Dean, which in a sense kind of a mirror match, kind of two kind of quite cool hipsters.
Yeah, like, I feel this was my best performance.
Yep.
And I haven't actually been entirely happy with any performance since this, because I know this was my best performance. Like, the weirdest, again, what you said about kind of the mirror match thing, after my kind of first exam last summer, which was like mid-June, it was like the hardest paper they'd ever set for this course. It was nigh on impossible. Like, I can't have got more than 40% raw mark in that exam. It was horrible. And I'm going home and I'm just like, fuck the world, this is awful. I'm going to buy myself some clothes because retail therapy is fantastic. Find a little ASOS marketplace shop with retrograde clothing, get a couple things from there. Turns out that's actually LS Dean's shop. So I unknowingly bought clothes off LS Dean, which was, and I'm just like, oh, you do a nice clothes shop, I like clothes as well. So a bit of bonding happened after that battle.
He's quite the fashionable dude, LS Dean.
Cool bloke. Quite chilled out as well. Like, I really got on with him. He's quite like, I feel kind of his style is a bit quite kind of like observational as well. It's like he doesn't pick obvious angles, which I like about him.
You look so sad when you try and model your clothes. Like everything in your life is properly broke. Debt, You're growing old all alone, but guilt and people with sadness will only work when you're trying to win back your girl. Please call me.
He's going to be on the show soon, actually. He reached out. He's a fan of the show. Definitely going to have this guy on. Me and him were supposed to battle on Words of Weapons like 3 years ago or something, back when he was known as...
Brilliant.
Yeah, back when he was known as Dean, before he was known as LS Dean. But yeah, this is an interesting battle. And this was am I correct in thinking the winner went on to the top 8?
Yeah, like there was one bar he had in his first. It was like, if you kill a person and the judges think you didn't, that sounds like a good deal to me. That bar was sick and really slept on. It's stuff like that. It's like, it's because he has a really nice he's not unorthodox, but he's got a nice original style.
Yeah,
but it's done it's done a bit flat, maybe delivered.
Yeah.
I think I don't want to sound harsh on it, but it's like, it's just delivered in a way that people aren't really latching onto when there is actually good bars there.
Yeah, completely.
Because I feel part of the reason why I took it was just because I also, that was like, in terms of actual performance, I was just kind of really going for it high energy.
Definitely, yeah. I think this is easily your best performance. And LS Dean has a good first, but yeah, I know what you're saying. The hits don't hit too hard, and like, you touch on the football bars with him. He's obsessed with football bars. Don't get me wrong, I like football bars, but it's like with anything, forget football bars or anything, you can't be too niche with your references. Like, he references Hangerland. I don't know who that is, and I follow football, and I know a lot of people are like, you don't know who Hangerland is? I don't. And he also references in his second the Gagan press, which I had to Google, which is like some sort of like, yeah, it's like some football, some formation move, which it like, I get it. Like, if someone was to reference like some, obscure fucking spoken word poet or whatever, or guitar, it's like, oh, I love that. But it's like, you've kind of got to fight for your audience a bit, and I think you do that a bit more successfully in this battle.
I think also it's because it's like, yeah, it's good to do football bars, but it's over-reliance on it as well. It's kind of like back to against Blunt and against Mighty, where I just pick a few things like, you always do this, you're formulaic. He did the football bars. He went on to do an impression of me. Like, when you're explaining to someone what they do and why it's bad and they do it, I feel it just delegitimizes them, and it happened again in this one. I feel kind of quite often where I convincingly win, it's because you basically pick a few very niche things about them and explain why they're bad. And this is an example of it. It's just like, if you just do football bars, it's just like, I think my thing is like, well done, you have another interest. It's just like, all you're really displaying is football knowledge as opposed to actually breaking someone down.
Entirely.
I mean, if they're good references, good, but there's nothing necessarily impressive about it.
When you say fucking road parking space, you adopted this battle, don't you? A kind of like a Drake-ness to your punch, like hashtag rap is how it's described, isn't it? And like, it's effective, but that sort of style you really vibing with in the LS Dean clash.
I wouldn't say it's hashtag rap, because I refuse to be condoned with compared to JB's painful flow. Right. This is not hashtag rap. This is kind of more kind of basic word association. It's like, I get what you mean though. It's like, people get really grated if you pause and then say the punchline. It's like fucking road, parking space, like your fire ain't touching me, mantelpiece, things like that. But it's like, that's just one way of saying it. It's like, if I put like, or that's or it's not doing anything different. I don't think there's actually a laziness about it. It's just like, it's just a different way of setting up a punch. It's because like the hashtag thing, I feel, is where you spit really disjointed way of doing it to make it sound all artistic kind of thing, whereas I was just giving pauses. But I get what you mean. Like, I did tackle it differently here. I mean, I was using timing a lot more, I guess. Yeah, it's effective, and the whole first, you do go in on his ASOS marketplace. What kind of wanker charges £5 for postage, you ask? Which is, for clothes especially. What kind of wanker does LS Dean? I'm not entirely sure if he did. I'm not going to lie to you. I'll ask him. I'll ask him when he comes on. If someone says it in a battle, it's true. Exactly. You can win a battle on fake personals. I've always said that. You sell a more original style than you give us as a battler. Yeah, like, I feel that probably shouldn't have been an 8-bar in hindsight, because that was an end of an 8-bar punch. I feel that was quite a kind of. I'm trying to do, because I'm not trying to just do jokes in this one as well. I feel that was like, because I feel like against LS Dean as well, because he can be really funny, and he was at the start of his third. I feel like the best way to do it is kind of just to show you can do more. And when Dean calls you the free trial version of Marlowe, is that fair? don't know, it's like, obviously you're inevitably going to be compared to anyone who's already battling, but when I battle, I don't go into it thinking, oh, I want to be like this person, I want to be like this person. I just do what feels right at the time. And it's like my style in every battle is changing. It's like this one is a marked change because I'm doing a lot more timing, doing a lot longer multi-schemes, kind of like particular angles and all that. But the battle before against like Riser or J. Cruz, I wasn't doing these long schemes. I wasn't doing the that's this kind of thing. I was doing much more kind of like jokey stuff with them. So yeah, so no, it's like I don't mean to be like anyone. I mean, I can see the comparisons with Marlowe, Juan, Dank Schrader, Heretic, Carter Deems, Most Prob. I can see why I'm getting compared to them, but I don't go out with the intention of being like them.
No, of course. And yeah, I mean, we get a lot more football bars in LS Dean's second. In his third, he has his kind of what you look like kind of bars. Like, are any of his comparisons fair?
I feel the one where it was like, you look like when you buy weeds, you ask 3 friends to go halves was absolutely hilarious.
Right.
Brilliant joke. Well done, LS Dean. That was hilarious. I feel some of them were quite funny. I feel the meal deal one was quite harsh. I mean, if you really think I buy egg and cress from the co-op, like, I mean, why would I do that?
Yeah, I mean, how dare.
Sandwiches, like, the fuck is wrong with you, Nathaniel?
He says you kind of look like Ellen DeGeneres, which is a little bit of a reach, perhaps. I mean, I feel
it was kind of like, it's because I thought the reason why he put that bar in and the reason why I called him Peter Baelish is because in Viewpoint I kind of like, because he looks like it's particularly the facial hair, he looks like Peter Baelish.
He does, yeah, he has that Aidan Gillen kind of vibe to him, definitely.
I think I went with anemic Peter Baelish because he's like a little bit skinnier, a little more pale, but with the facial hair it's bang on.
Yeah, no.
And then I think similarly, because my hair was blonde at this point as well, I had the shorter blonde fringe. I can see why it's kind of like it's more precise than calling me Michael Cera or Michael Jordan, definitely. But I feel it's kind of like the joke reach thing because I'm just doing it back to him.
And you take the win here in quite a hardly fought battle, but I think you kind of outstyle him all 3 rounds. Really, but it must have felt good.
Yeah, I feel it was a 3-0. Like it's kind of thing where it's like he wasn't necessarily bad in any round, but I was just better. Like, he would have taken the third if he kept it going. Like, he kind of did fall off a bit midway through the third.
And I mean, getting into the top 8, then we go forth onto the battle with Jace. Like, I was there, and I remember at the time feeling quite strongly that you actually beat Jace. I mean, what are your opinions on this?
Okay, like, obviously, it's the whole kind of thing. It's like, oh, you shouldn't talk too strongly about your own battles because you sound arrogant and a dick. But I do think I beat Jace, and it's like, obviously, feel free to disagree, but it's like he did. It was his best performance at the time. I'm not disputing that, but I feel a lot of the punches that he said weren't actually, when you actually analyze them, just weren't as good as people made out in the venue. Like, a lot of his like haymakers, so to speak, were just kind of, if you actually look at them, just weren't all that. And that's why I feel I won the battle. It's like, yeah, like, this is the start of, I feel, kind of a string full of not my best performances, because after the LS Dean battle, I just didn't have enough time to, this isn't an excuse, because like, I know it's not me being like, oh, it's okay about this, because I'm taking more time in the future, but this is the start of when I just didn't have enough time to prep for battles, because this was the start of a new term when I had Jace. So when I would have normally gone back through my material, refined it, added new stuff, I didn't really have time to do that, and I feel that's why I lost, because the third round was a bit weak.
Silence the haters till they say my name. They said I wouldn't get better opponents on training days. Smashed my last 2 clashes, they gave me Jace. Fuck it, even a maths genius can make mistakes. You know what's ruining battle rap? The fact you paid your way in. £100 for a battle. Grave mistake, kid. When Shonda Callum, Evil Schrader, JB Bobby, Flabs and LS Dean are taking places, there are 8 battlers who top you for the top 8 space you're taking. Fuck keeping it private. You paid to get schooled since you couldn't make the grade, kid. He was on
definitely the best round of the battle from me, though.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't want to show any disrespect to Jace. Obviously, I'm just sort of saying, how I felt when I watched the battle. Sort of thing. Yeah. His battle with Yorks just came out, actually, as we were recording this as well, so that's kind of...
love Yorks after that.
Yeah, fresh in my mind here.
Such a good battle.
I mean, I personally, I remember tweeting this at the time, and like retweeted it and loved it as well. You were talking about how you're going to install an automatic door in the venue to put him out of work.
It's just like the kind of shit where it's just like, it's like Jake was saying this as well. It's just like, particularly with Zayn Azrai onwards, my bars have just got a lot meaner. All of a sudden, I've just become very mean, and there wasn't really much to warrant that. And with Jace, it's like, I'm not getting personal with him, but it's just like, it's the whole kind of thing. It's like, what could I do to ruin your life? You shit. I know, I'll deprive you of stewarding battling events, because that's obviously all you love. So obviously, I'll install an automatic door in the Fiddler's Elbow. I mean, I'm glad everyone ran with it and assumed I could do something like that. That was kind of the way everyone reacted, as if I could install an automatic door, just filled me with such confidence in myself.
That's it's really, really good, man. And then you have do you remember Jace's second about the animals?
Fucking hell, like I feel actually the thing that really stings about losing to Jace is the fact he spat that around and won. It's just like, if you spit something, if you haven't seen it, it's just like, you like animals, so therefore you must have sex with them.
Right.
It's like, why the fuck would you say so? Like, I showed that battle to my friends, and it was the first battle they'd seen. It's like, but you don't have sex with animals. Yeah. Like, why is he saying that? And I'm just like, I wish I knew. Like, oh, fuck's sake, Jace. Why would you spit that? Just some fucking self-respect. Mm-hmm. Like, oh... It's just the whole round. It was just, I was stood there and I was just really confused as to what was going on. And obviously the flip from that had a mixed reaction as well. I feel I'm going to defend the flip, because obviously I got a lot of stick. If he's going to say a whole round about how I, have sex with animals, if I then joke that I do, it just makes him look even stupider. And that was the point I was trying to get across.
Yeah, the flip's good, man. You've got stick for the flip.
Yeah, it's like, it's kind of a little... I feel kind of people feel I tend to flip every round, and one round every battle I have a flip which gets no reaction. And this was that one, or at least like the one where it doesn't go down so well. Every battle I have one where everyone's just like, stonewalls it. I mean, was it ill-judged in hindsight? Perhaps. But then again, so's writing, memorizing, and spitting a whole round about having sex with animals. That is much more ill-judged than freestyling about it. I feel kind of also with this one, it's like I had moments where I just kind of parred him off. And like when you get into battling, when you watch kind of like 8 Mile and those kind of things, or it's like the kind of like the film, like kind of Hollywood rap battle, let's call it. You get those things where you just par someone off, and it's just such a good par. Everyone was like, oh! Mm-hmm. And I feel I had some of these against Jace, and that's kind of one of the good things I took out of this. I'm starting to get good at just kind of like good one-liners that kind of just disrespect you. Like the one in this one that I really liked, it was like, nice chain, where'd you get it from? The friend zone. Right. Yeah. He wore that toilet chain around his neck. Yeah. It was
interesting battle, definitely. 3-2 decision, obviously with yourself not taking the win there, but we get to the next battle with Zayn, 8th birthday pre-party. Yeah. I'm right in thinking that this had gone through many permutations before it got to Bear versus Zayn.
Like, referring back to the whole kind of like, it kind of just got weirder from J. Cruz. I don't think anyone really predicted that I would then go on to win a place in the top 8 tournament, crash out in the first round of that tournament to Jace, and then get a battle with Zayn Azrai immediately after. Like, it's kind of the whole thing. It's like, I just battle. It's people also who have watched my battles have been getting increasingly confused, because they've just been getting weirder and weirder. Like, the general people are like, oh yeah, you're getting better, but your opponents are just so confusing. And with this one, it was initially like end of August, I think, or Rowan, as you know, because we're best mates. Sure. Sent me a message and was, want to do a cheeky 2-on-2 the 8th birthday, Samuel, my love. We can chat about it over dinner, but I know you're so busy, so I'll just, cut you the crap. Bear Solutions and Lazy Ass Jack versus Zayn Azrai and Uno Lavos, which obviously as well, Lazy Ass Jack had just had A as well, so like he was on, you know, a hype after this, but still you wouldn't really expect that off what we'd given so far. I'd say, like, I was really surprised, and we said yes, obviously. Then obviously Uno cancelled, didn't happen. Then I was like, okay, I'll get you an opponent, I'll replace Uno with someone else at some time later on. And we didn't hear anything from him until 3 days before the battle, where he offered us Pedro. And Lazy Ass Jack didn't want to do it, but I had just finished producing the magazine that I run, so that takes up a good 10 days of my life, just kind of going through that. And I was just kind of in a bar celebrating, and I was quite drunk, and I was like, no, you are not stopping me from doing this, Jake. So I called him up, made him accept it. This is 3 nights to go. Then 2 nights to go. Next night we write all the bars for, well, also I shouldn't exaggerate, actually, we had started writing for Uno and Zayn, but most of the material was for Uno, if not, like, I'd say about 80%, 85% for Uno, and it can't have been much more than around, like, we had mostly Uno material. So we had to write rounds for Pedro and Zayn. We kind of looked back through all our throwaways that we had, kind of put this together. Then the next night after that, he couldn't learn any of it. He was really freaking out, so he dropped out of the battle, and we agreed that instead it would be me versus Zayn. So then I had to look at the bars again, because about half of it was only directed at Zayn. So I had to then fill it up again and restructure it again to 3 rounds. And then, yeah, I went to battle Zayn on 24 hours. It's arguable 24 or 72 hours prep in the engine rooms in London, and it was surreal.
People at uni were like, you shouldn't body shame him, Bear, even though he's gained weight. I'm sorry, just most of your fat is spilling out of your safe space. I've got workers carrying food for me like an ant's nest. 2 long straps, Lazy Ass Jack's vest. I got support in the whip, that's a backrest. I'm a post-truth battler, there's no need to do a fact check.
Mad achievement, really. Zayn's a big deal.
Yeah, it was a big deal. Like, I feel also like Zayn did have his best. I feel like Zayn did have his best performance against me, or like one of them at least. Like, I don't think when that battle was set up, anyone expected what Zayn came with. Like, it was ridiculous, like the kind of stuff he was saying. Yeah, he really brought it out though. He really brought it. I was really impressed.
He did, and these battles, the pre-party battles, hopefully the interviews that I did are coming out. I remember I did an interview with yourself and Zayn.
And we had a brilliant interview, yeah.
Yeah, it was. It needs to drop. Shout out Ryan Morgan. By the time this drops, hopefully that'll have came out. I'm not gonna lie, I was quite gone when this whole battle happened. Like, yeah. This whole evening was a bit of a blitz for me, which is what makes it even funnier, because then about a month later, this battle drops, and I'm just looking so confused at what's going on, just still spitting 3 rounds. But I just remember in the interview, I was, because my girlfriend was in the corner, just like, Zayn said you cheated on me, how could you do this to me, right. Why? And yeah, fun evening. And also just like, it was quite a refreshing Zayn performance as well, I thought. Yeah, it was. And a lot of people remember 8th birthday pre-party for the 2 girls at the front. Let's not forget the 2 miserable guys at the front as well.
Yeah, I mean, I actually don't remember, I'm not going to lie to you. Right. I don't remember much about that evening. I do remember Zayn saying, I'm hung like a horse, you're a one-trick pony, and I thought I'd never heard a better bar in my life.
Yeah. Split the wig in the shower, brainwashed. I just can't deal. It's like when someone comes against you, it's like I had a bar which I forgot to spit, but it was, you're so shit, you're considered avant-garde. And I feel it applies very well to Zayn, because like, objectively speaking, the wordplay is just like fucking awful. Not awful, it's like, it's genius, because it's so like basically put together, but there's nothing complicated about it. Like, you wouldn't see like Soul or Shock the Rebel or Tony D spitting punchlines like that, but it's just the way he comes at you with it. It's really hard to react to, other than just like with laughter. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I quite like, that's not a bad bar here. And then you do a lot of Tetris bars in the first, if you recall.
Yeah, I feel, yeah, I do recall the bars, I don't recall spitting them. Yeah, I feel I just want to fit in. That's another Tetris bar. Kind of really summed up how I felt that evening. because the kind of, obviously the Jace battle hadn't gone up yet, so no one actually knew I'd lost to Jace by this point, but I was just like, I think I've got something to prove after somebody who's called me an animal fucker has beaten me in a rap battle. I feel there was something kind of, to gain from this.
It was so last minute though, the battle, wasn't it? So it's nothing to be in shame of. I'm the reason why I'm not 100% happy with it is because it's not as good as the I thought my performance was as good as the LS Team battle. I thought it was one of my best performances still. I think it's just because it was short prep. Even if I had just 2 more days, I feel it would have been better on my end. But I did get pretty consistent reactions the whole way through. Yeah.
It's not it's just because if you're battling someone who's getting reaction every 2 bars, if you're getting reaction every 8 bars, you look comparatively bad, even though that kind of material would probably have beaten anyone I battled so far.
And a little unfair, Bear, that this wasn't uploaded to the main channel.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what happened there. Me and Zane were told it would, it didn't. I'm not hugely bothered, to be honest, because it's their decision, and it's I think I was surprised it wasn't as well when I watched it back. When I was told they weren't knowing after all, I was like, okay, that's fair enough. When I watched it back, I was quite surprised. It is the most viewed pre-party battle, I think, on Training Day's channel. It's my most viewed battle by far, by factor of 2. It's I think only 8,000 views now, which is ridiculous as well. It's it's ultimately it's just a good opportunity for me because I battled quite a lot of people who just tend to pull in views. So I feel obviously I haven't had a battle come out since then, but when it does come out, I think because people did say to me that they think I beat Zayn in the venue on the night just because I was a lot more direct than Zayn was, and I did kind of try and break him down, which obviously does count for something, but most people, I would agree, don't think it counts against Zayn's performance. No,
certainly not.
I feel Zayn did win, but you can't deny that I did still make a good stab at attacking someone like that, unaware of how he'd approach it.
And moving forward then, because that was your last battle at the time of us recording this, you're battling Conker soon, is that right?
Yeah, so what happened after this, is obviously I've had 7 or 8 battles cancelled now, and I've had 13 happen, so it's not a nice ratio. And after the Zayn Azrai one, because I was really starting to and so I was so busy at this. I've been incredibly busy since October because second year and all the other shit I do is just generally taking a toll. But when I was prepping for the Zayn battle, I was just this is when Lazy had dropped out the night before. I was just really, really hyped up about it. Mickey sent me a message saying, "Do you want to battle X?" And I was just in the zone. I was like, yeah, bring it. And I think, and then after the Zayn battle, I started writing straight away for the next one because I was just really in the mood for it. And Jake said to me, I think I do agree, I think it actually was the best material that I'd written at the point. It was 3 60-75 second rounds, very direct, 4 to 8 bar, just punches about Lex, and then he didn't show up. And it was just a bit shit, really, to have suddenly got all this energy back and then just have it taken away again. So yeah, that was that. Then Danny Jack hits me up a couple of days after that, asks if I want Conker B. Obviously, Conker B was one of the people. He was one of my favourite dudes who tried out in 2014. Aside from the obvious ones like Shox, Raptor, Jem Juan, I thought he was the number 5, as in those 5 were the best tryouts in that year.
Yeah.
I was I'd really love to battle Conker. And then some of the Lex stuff, but surprisingly not that much was actually relevant to Conker. So I went and wrote an enormous amount. I ended up having 3 roughly 2-minute rounds, I'd say, but I had a lot more throwaways for Conker. And then 3:30 a.m. the day of the battle, Conker pulls out, says he can't do it. So me and also Lazy Ass Jacket and Eel Rollins cancelling on the week before as well. So had the idea that we would print out masks of our opponents and do a 1-rounder where I spat my bars for Conker B while he had a Conker B mask. Then Jake would spit his Eel Rollins bars while I had an Eel Rollins face mask on. And that will come out, but not for a little bit longer, maybe a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and dream opponents for you in the future?
Well, yeah, had Boski on KOTR, which was fun, but footage lost. Not much there. I wasn't on top form that day. On KOTR after that, I feel I've kind of obviously there's this whole kind of an attitude that I've betrayed them, so to speak, by daring to battle on another battle league. But I have shown I will come back and do good performances. So I feel on there it's really Canal for me.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I can't really think of many other people. Like, I don't see much point in battling many other people on there, just because, like, I don't really. It's like, don't know. It's just like I don't really think I have much to say to many other people on there on the league at the moment. Like, I think with KOTR you have to really follow it to kind of like, you have to really follow the battlers on it to get kind of like, it's a lot more self-referential, I feel, and because I just haven't been following battling as much, I don't see kind of the excitement of battling someone on there just because I haven't followed it enough. I feel if I followed it more, I think maybe Visceral as well, but like, because I'm just not watching all these people's battles, I just don't see a reason to battle them as such.
Yeah, that's fair enough, man. So I guess we'll wrap up with a few quick fire questions as always. The first being your favourite Don't Flop battle.
Oh, I don't think I really have one. Ogamios versus C Major is amazing for Og's performance alone.
Oh, great battle.
Shufflo versus Zenelect, best 2-on-2 in my opinion. UK ever. Trying to think, there's some fantastic ones. Oh, it's no, it's gone. Sorry, I thought I was going to say that.
I've never heard someone call them Zenelect either. That's quite a nice little malpropism. Yeah. So your favourite KOTR battle, I should ask as well.
Omar Luigiano or Mackenzie Cloudy Soprano, because they are the two best body bags ever.
Yeah, that's
I feel the Cloudy one I've got a special attachment to because he was just such a knob after that, and I never ended up battling him. It makes me feel happy that he just got so absolutely destroyed by Mackenzie. I'd say it was like Mackenzie Cloudy was more of a body in terms of like on cam, but on the day Luigiano Omar because of the awkwardness of it. But yeah, two best KOTR battles.
Yeah, fair choices.
Jack as well. Fozzy versus Jack.
Yeah.
Gold.
That is gold. Check out mine and Def's little post-mortem of that classic. What about KOTD?
Oh, I don't watch loads of KOTD, but I do really enjoy Jonai Psychosis.
Yeah.
Carter Cheddar. There's quite a few past battles. It's like I kind of follow battlers as opposed to battles on that one. There's like a lot that I do. It's like on KOTD I follow battlers and watch battles like Jonai. Who else? Pass, Carter.
Right.
There's other people that I just can't remember.
What about URL? Are you a URL fan, Bear?
Yeah. I watched Loaded Lux and Calico, and I couldn't really understand why. It's like, it's not bad, but I can't understand why everyone's getting super bad for it.
Sure. I think that's fair. Final two questions. First of all, your favourite movie, your favourite film?
Oof. I hate to be all indecisive, but I don't really watch many films. I don't really have one, I'm afraid.
I mean, you must have a favourite, though. You must.
I don't have to have a favourite one of anything. This is the whole kind of
but there must be one movie that stuck with you over your 20 or so years.
I mean, I like movies, but I couldn't tell you... Okay, I like the Blood, Guns, Disaster, Ice Cream trilogy that Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, and Edgar Wright did.
Okay, that's a very generic but safe answer. I appreciate that, Bear. And finally, your favourite musical artist or band that are in no way hip hop related.
Again, you ask for a favourite. It's like we don't. I've listened. I don't listen to too much hip hop actually, and it's like a lot of the music I listen to actually is kind of derived from hip hop, like Bad Bad Not Good, Louis Delman, Glass Animals. They've got kind of roots in hip hop, but they're not really hip hop esque at all. So yeah, those bands, Ob-J, Jamie XX. I'm quite game for anything on the music front.
Right. And I guess finally, how do people get at you? Social media, your band as well. How do people follow that sort of stuff?
Yeah. Okay. How long have we got? So Kermode Spirit, spelled Kermode, then Spirit. We're on SoundCloud and Twitter. We just got a new EP out on Monday, called The Many-Faced God. It's fantastic. Twitter at Juniper Samuel. That's all my kind of online presence. Check out my blog, Las Politicas. Check out that show I did called Shark Tales. I presented season 6 for the Cherwell. What else do I do? That's about it. Yeah, check out all my other projects that I do to promote this, which I use to promote my other. It's a rut, really. I'm just kind of out here trying to promote everything else I do all at the same time. Yeah.
All right, man. This has been awesome. I want to urge people definitely to check out Shark Tales. It's fantastic, man. It is.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, if you basically Shark Tales, the premise is I interviewed drunk students on the street and asked them either or questions that were set up to make them look silly.
Yeah, it works. It works.
Actually, if you want, we can finish this one off with a rejected Shark Tales question for you.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Okay, Tom. What do you prefer, human breasts or chicken breasts?
Human breasts every time.
Any reason? Any reason why?
They're more fulfilling.
Okay, good answer. Thank you, Tom.
Yeah, and chicken breasts and milk just doesn't taste right. So, so yeah, there we are. That's Bear Solutions, man. It's been great having you on. And yeah, always check out Shark Tales, check out Como Spirit, all that good stuff. But thank you, bro.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man. Cheers.